Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So lately we've been talking about a little bit more of Gotham Knights in terms of the game structure. We're looking at a series here where I just wanted to go ahead and share a little bit more about what I thought, an in-depth dive of all of those different elements regarding how the game will be structured. More than likely, we'll see Gotham Knights be structured like one of the games that we've played, or at least one of the games that we know. I've posited that we may have something sort of Division-esque elements, because Division is actually closer to Diablo than many other games. I know many people might find that shocking, but it's actually the case. In the sequel that I've done, I've also gone ahead to posit that we may see something close to Assassin's Creed in terms of the new formula. Now, today we're going to be looking at combat, because I believe that that's also a very important and critical aspect of the entire game. You see, in a superhero game, you can tell a story all you want, but we got to be able to beat on bad guys, and that's something that's really important here. So today's conversation, I would like for you all to vote in the comment section. Use your comments to vote by saying if you would like to see the free flow combat system that came from the Arkham games, Arkham City, Origins, Knight, Asylum, in Gotham Knights. Do you think the developers should implement a free flow system? Now, even if you may think, well, they're trying to build this game from scratch and all of the above, there's a wonderful saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's something that we say out here in, I don't know, wherever the heck it is you are, but it's just a saying that says anything that's actually good and appealing can always continue to be left as good and appealing. That's all it is. And I understand that there may be people who don't like the free flow combat system, but to be honest, there are only a handful of people that I've actually read their comments. Usually everybody else that I've actually interacted with or talked to, really do like the way the free flow combat system works in the Arkham games. So that's actually a big deal. So when we actually take the vote, I won't be surprised to see if we actually have a leaning towards that. Now, the free flow combat system does have a lot of elements to it. And I'm not just saying just the snapping of, your character from one, enemy to the other in a group fight or whatever direction you actually control your character. I'm talking about the move set and the way you can continue to expand and deal some really cool combos using the different elements that you have. In Arkham Knight, we got to see an extensive delivery of all kinds of different things that you could do with the free flow combo. Arkham Origins was a little interesting because all you did was activate your Electro Gloves and then you just beat everybody up after you got the free flow max. But I think the other Arkham games really did help you kind of reimagine how it was, especially Arkham Knight, where you could do some really fun stuff with your, with the Batmobiles, stun guns, and you could really do some wonderful takedowns. Those were really cool and those were really interesting. On seeing the Knights, they already seem to have a vehicle. They have bikes that they ride around the city with. And I don't know if they're going to provide elements for you to be able to engage in conflict or in combat where you actually use your vehicles to do some really cool stuff like that. And if they can, that's not a big deal. I'm just looking more closely to that free flow combat element. Now, the technical side of the free flow combat element, in my opinion, is one of the better things that has happened in video games. So if you think about, say, the Spider-Man games even used some of those elements as well, and some of the other elements that are in other video games, that you see, like, the combat camera and the slow motion camera. These are very important things. Yes, I think we're gonna have that in Gotham Knights, no doubt, because we saw it in the preview. I mean, it will be really interesting for them to take away something so critical. But free flow kind of enhance that combat camera, because as your character is fighting and taking down enemy NPCs, the technical side is that there is an advanced calculation that's actually going on, because in the game, every enemy type that's actually standing around you has all kinds of different parameters that's coded into them. If they're a melee enemy, if they're an enemy with a shield, if they're an enemy that has, like, say, a shock baton or a knife, there's a way they'll interact. And it's so well done that the enemies actually attack you in a very coherent way. These are basics of designing a combat system, a melee combat system where you have to fight multiple enemies. But then as a free flow starts, your character begins to not only gain speed, they also begin to gain a lot more damage dealing potential to allow for their combos to then hit register and give you this achievement mindset where your combo counter is showing up that you are dealing a lot of damage. Now, if you look at the Gotham Knights gameplay, reveal, one really challenging thing for me that I could not necessarily put my hand on was how they were going to engage this entire combat paradigm. Because as Batgirl was, busy beating up on these bad guys, I didn't necessarily see that element being added to this. You couldn't really see your combo counter. Now, could it be because they were playing a co-op mission where she and Robin were there? It didn't necessarily count for that. But, to be honest, that system is actually solid. In fact, if you want to argue against it, argue against the Marvel Spider-Man games that have already come out and implemented them, because they are kind of an of a gold standard. If you were to ask me, I think they really do work, unless this game is trying to follow suit with the other games that have actually provided the possibility of them following the structure, being Assassin's Creed and all the above. Most of those other games, they have a combat system, but they don't have a combo system. So nonetheless, the free flow system is not only going to be coming in here just to be a free flow system. There will be heavy changes that need to be made to accompany a system like that. I think it may seem like a small change, but from a development side, it fundamentally changes. I mean, I'm not talking about a small change. I'm talking about almost an overhaul of what the combat system will look like. Now, even without the free flow system, if they did something even, say, in the middle ground, where you're not just flying from one character and punching that character to the other, you'll still need that gold standard of superhero games being, this place where you can just showcase your fighting skills, where you can take out bad guys and just, you can chain different kinds of attacks together that makes it really fun and satisfying. Now, another thing too is, even though, like I said, the combo counter may or may not be there, you could have something like, Kratos, where in God of War, even if you can't do combos that count, you can do a lot of different cool stuff that you can chain different elements, different attacks. You can use your weapons and you can use your special moves to really, take out enemy NPCs and take out hordes of NPCs with your specials and all of that. That also provides another option and a possibility. But nonetheless, this video is supposed to be either you want free flow or no free flow at all. So go ahead and vote in the comment section, and we'll be looking at that as the conversation goes on. Because if you were to ask me, my own opinion is quite biased towards the Arkham games. I would like to see a free flow because it just continues the tradition of what the Arkham games have already set up in place. Nothing wrong in making things innovative and fresh, but like I said at the beginning of this video, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys in another video. Peace.